Hi, I'm Lee Iridium. Hope everyone's doing fine today. And I've got Jam and I've got Dom. How you doing, guys?
Doing well.
Good to see you. You all right?
And we're back for All Killer, No Filler, Total Frustration. We're on to 2011.
2011, yeah.
And we are back because we had a pretty good, we had some views on that last video, guys. We're really happy with that. Over 200.
Yeah, excellent.
That is excellent, isn't it? So
it is.
Obviously missed us, didn't they?
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah, I guess all the new viewers can go back and watch all the previous 30 episodes if they want. They can get them numbers up as well.
Yeah. We are as funny in the other episodes, by the way. You know, we're quite amusing sometimes. We can be.
Occasionally. Yeah.
Can't we? And apart from that, you get to find loads of bands and stuff that you might not have heard of, and some things that you have heard, and you think, oh yeah, fuck me, that was a good song. So there you go. So the rules of All Killer, No Filler, Total Frustration are, we get to a year, we're on 2011. There's only a couple of rules. One is that you can't have two songs off an album, so you have to have different albums for these songs we're going to choose. And the other one is that it has to match the track listing of the original album. That's right, isn't it?
Yep. Yeah. And you can't have more than 5 Jorn Lande songs in one list.
No, that's not in the fucking rules. That's not in the rules. I'll tell you what, he might have had a busy year in 2010, but he didn't fucking have a busy one in 2011. I'll tell you that right now.
Oh, dear.
Yeah. Although, Yorny has a new song out today.
Oh.
There you go. That's my plug for Yorny today. That is my one and only plug. So we've got 12 tracks to talk about. We're still up to 12 tracks, which I think he's going to carry on for the rest.
Yeah.
And we do take it in turns. 2011 means Don is going to go first with his track 1. And we go round and we give our track 1, track 2 next, and all that bollocks. So are we ready? Round the houses, yes. So Dom first, then Jam, then me. So go, Dom. What's your track 1 for 2011, mate?
Okay. Track 1, 2011. We're going with our old buddy George Lynch.
Yeah.
Who had an album this year called Kill All Control. And I picked the title track, which is the first song. Now I kind of slept on this for a while because I was so turned off by, what was it called, Smoke This, where he called it Lynch Mob, but it was all like rap and stuff, and it was just atrocious. So I didn't listen to this when it came out because I just thought, oh, he's probably in some sort of new metal, rap, rock, whatever. But no, this is a great album. It really is. Lots of guest vocalists on this song. The verses are done by Mark Torian from Bullet Boys. I'm a big fan of the original lineup of Bullet Boys, so it sounds great to hear him on like a great rock song. And then the choruses are taken care of this guy called Keith St. John, who I think was the main co-writer on this album with George Lynch. I know him from fronting a band called Burning Rain, which was Doug Aldridge led band. Oh. They have about 4 albums, I think, something like that. I've got a few of them. So yeah, it's I really recommend this album. It's just straight up terrific rock and roll record, it really is. So there you go, George Lynch, back making good music.
Excellent.
Yeah, I mean that rap one. I remember when that came out. Even though I liked a bit of Rage Against the Machine at the time, but you know they knew how to do it properly in my mind. But George Lynch didn't. He didn't fucking know.
It's just not what you want from George Lynch.
Great guitarist.
And I should mention, he has a lot of instrumental albums and widdly albums, but this is his 10th solo album.
Wow. Fucking hell. I know. Just shows you, doesn't it? Very cool, mate. George Lynch getting in there first. Brilliant. What do you got then, Jan?
Cool. Okay, I've got it's like a side project. I guess it is a band, but it's a side project. It was one member at the time of Killswitch Engage and the former singer of Killswitch Engage, Jesse Leach, and this is Times of Grace. Obviously nowadays Jesse Leach is back into Killswitch Engage, of course, but this was a side project at the time. It's debut album. They've only done 2. The second album only came out last year, actually, which was good. The album's called Hymn of a Broken Man, and track 1 is Strength in Numbers. Now it's it's a cracking opening track. I was obsessed with this album when it came out. I was doing a lot of running at the time, and I used to run to the whole album. I did like a 45-minute run, and it was 45 minutes. So I listened to it like every day for weeks. So, so I really got into it. It's it's not much of a departure from Killswitch Engage. Perhaps not as heavy, but it's sort of metalcore-ish. But it's a lot of singing on it and a lot more that sort of stuff. It's quite melodic, and Strength in Numbers is a great opening track. Got the fast bits, got the slow bits, not too much shouty in it, so it's worth a listen if you want to listen to it. It's that was a good album. There you go, Strength in Numbers, Times of Grace.
What do you run to EPs now, or do you still?
I can't run at all. My hips are knackered, so.
I say it fucking wore me out. You talking about running? Fucking hell.
Yeah.
Definitely wouldn't be able to run to All Killer. Done it, Jem?
Yeah.
All right, cheers, mate. Right, okay. So my track one, going a bit of Christian metal now. So it ain't Striper. It's a band called Theocracy. These are a great American band. This song is actually 11 minutes long, so it's a bit of a long one for an opening track. It's a song called I Am. I think it's one of their most loved songs from fans of the band. They're getting really popular, actually. It's progressive a little bit. It's heavy, almost got some folky elements as well in the music. Matt Smith, who's the singer, he's a great singer, absolutely superb singer. All the lyrics are Christian based. This is the third album, and it's just a cracker of a song. It is really epic. It's got that sort of epic sound in it. It's like melodic metal, but with those, not quite symphonic, but really epic sounding. Just a great track, absolutely brilliant track to start with. So Theocracy, I Am, off the album As the World Bleeds. I think if you're into Christian metal at all, they're quite well known now, but obviously not on the world stage, because it just doesn't happen like that, apart from probably Striper. So there you go. So, right. So check them out. They're excellent. So track two, what you got then, Dom?
All right. Mine is not a Christian metal album. This is one of my heroes, Michael Monroe, formerly of Hanoi Rocks. When this came out, man, it blew me away, because Ginger from the Wild Hearts, who are another one of my favorite bands, he co-wrote every song and actually toured with him in the band as well. The name of the album is Sensory Overdrive, and the name of this track is 78, as in 1978. And this is probably one of my favorite songs of this decade. I love it so much. It's everything I love. It's got hand claps. It's catchy riff, catchy kind of Stonesy riff, and
if only it had rock or rock and roll in the title, that'd be fucking it, wouldn't it?
Rock 78 or something, that'd be good.
Sure, yeah. Well, the chorus is, you can take the boy out of 78. The styles may change, but it's still going great. You can't take 78 out of the boy, which is just fantastic. So it's produced by Jack Douglas, who did a lot of stuff. He produced all the really good Aerosmith albums, Rocks and Toys in the Attic, some Cheap Trick, and some Alice Cooper as well. So it's got the kind of that old, that classic feel as well. And Ginger, he's just such a great songwriter. He's just everything that I love about rock and roll is kind of wrapped up in this album. So 78 is my highest recommendation here from Michael Monroe.
Very cool. Cheers, mate. Cool. Thank you very much. Jam, what you got, mate?
Okay. I'm sticking with metalcore for a minute, and going to a band that I did get into them at the start. I did listen to them a bit, but they never really did a lot for me particularly, but they've become really popular now, and their last few albums got a lot of critical acclaim, and I might have to get back into them again. That's Trivium. Their last few albums are supposed to be really good. They're not quite as brutal as they were to start with. I think that's maybe why they're a bit more popular, because they're quite shouty, of course, in the early albums. But this is In Waves, which I believe is their third or fourth album, might even be their fifth album. It's the first proper track on the album, even though it's track 2, because it's like an intro. It is track 1. So yeah, In Waves, which is the title track, In Waves. Really good. A bit of shouting at the start, but it's really melodic, and it's just a bit of a different song structure. It just says "in waves," at the start of it, and then it goes into a bit of a riff and chorus, and it's just a great song to not open an album, but open an album proper, if you like, after the instrumental intro. So I might try and get back into Trivium a bit, but this is certainly one of the songs I do like from the latter part of their catalogue.
Very cool. Very cool. We haven't actually had that yet, an instrumental opening this. No, that'd be interesting, because I mean, they are very cool, aren't they? I like the way that some albums open up with something like that. As long as it sounds, it gets you ready for the album, doesn't it? But whether you actually want to put it on this killer is a different matter, because there's so many track ones as well, aren't there, that are fucking good.
Yeah, track one's so easy or difficult, if you like.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't really want to waste your pick on a 1 minute acoustic.
No. I actually prefer it if a band gets that instrumental part in the actual song. I think that can make a brilliant song. You know what I mean? So, okay. So, track 2, Iced Fucking Earth are on my track 2.
Right.
So this is the point where Stu Block joined the band. So as the singer, obviously Ripper, it was Matt Barlow for years, after a couple of other singers at the beginning. Matt Barlow was the main singer. Then Ripper came in. Matt Barlow came back for one album. Then he went again. And now Stu Block is the new singer, which I thought is a great fucking choice. I mean, this song is brilliant. It's called Anthem. It's a single, and it really is an anthem. It's heavy, but it's just really fucking pounding song. It's not a slow to medium pace song, but it's really heavy. Extremely catchy chorus. This was the 10th album by the band.
Wow.
But I just think that Stu Block, he came from a more extreme band. I think the band they got him from was like a shouty sort of, band. But in this band, he did what he should do. It's a bit like Todd Latour, in it. He can do some extreme vocals, but when he plays for Queens, when he sings for Queensryche, he does the way it's meant to be, because it's fucking Queensryche.
Yeah.
So I think, like, that's exactly what Stu Block done on this. He sounded like a mixture of Matt Barlow and Ripper. It's just brilliant, on this album. Superb album altogether. Anthem is just a brilliant track. If you don't like Iced Earth because of what happened, well, it's music, man. It's music.
Yeah, it's still music. Yeah,
Anyway.
Does this song have anything to do with Something Wicked This Way Comes?
That's coming on the next album, I think. Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay.
We'll look forward to that.
I don't want to miss out.
This is nothing. Nah, I don't even think it was mentioned on this album. So there you go. All right. Okay. Well, you got for track 3. All right, what you got for track 3 then, mate?
Yeah, track 3. Okay, what do I got? I got a German band called Mystic Prophecy. Believe it or not, this is their 7th album. So they're one of those that have just been going in Germany, and we don't know who they are. This was one of those that I'll plug a magazine called Fireworks Magazine, who have a terrific set of reviews. It's usually at least half the magazine is all reviews. So they're really good about explaining, like, if you like this, then check this out, kind of thing. So this is one of those that I just got from them.
Yeah.
And it's a really great album. Yeah. The song I picked is called Eyes the Devil, and it's from the album called Raven Lord. It's very kind of German Teutonic kind of accepty kind of metal, but just fantastic. You know how precise those Germans are, man. They just sound, crisp and just great. Quite a few good songs on here, but Eyes of Death is quite good. So yeah, Mystic Prophecy, yet another one that if you don't know them and you love your kind of melodic metal with a big old German attitude, well, there you go.
I think I have heard them. But I can't remember. Yeah, definitely. Cheers, mate.
I mean, if this is their 10th album, and
was that all? 10,
20, who knows how many more they have now.
fucking mental, isn't it? When you think, obviously they started in the lost years of that sort of music and they've just carried on.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I don't think they started off as new metal. I don't think.
No,
There you go. You never know. All right, not with a name like Mystic Prophecy, anyway.
no, I don't think so.
All right, what you got then, Jack? What's your track 3, mate?
Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad I could get this one in because obviously the passing of Taylor Hawkins recently, which is obviously sad news, someone that young to go. But obviously the Foo Fighters didn't have an album last time, so they have it this year. Foo Fighters Wasting Light is the album. For my money, I think we've already mentioned, or I've mentioned that Foo Fighters, the great songs are really great, but their albums can be a bit patchy. They're not really consistent on some of the albums. For me, Wasting Light is probably the most consistent album. I think nearly every song on it is really good. Some brilliant songs on there. I will mention them because I know you guys won't pick anything. But Rope and Elandria and These Days are great tracks. But I've gone with Dear Rosemary, which is very, very catchy, very sing-along. It's got Bob Mole from Husker Du sort of doing a duet singing on it.
Oh, really? I didn't know.
Yeah. Yes, it was good. I think they made a documentary about making the Wasted Light album. It's also recorded on analog as well, so analog tape. So the actual sound of the album is really good. It sort of harks back to the sort of 70s, 80s sound. They did a documentary and they showed Bob in the thing doing the singing for this, I think, if I remember correctly. Yeah, worth watching. If I can't remember what series it was. It wasn't the one where they went around all the studios. That was on for the next album, but there's definitely some sort of documentary I watched. But yeah, Dear Rosemary by the Foo Fighters, track number 3.
Just got to alter my list a minute because I've got to cross these days out. Hold on.
Yeah.
Pick something else now. Fuck's sake. Right, okay. It's done. Right, anyway, I was going to see the Foo Fighters, by the way. Just let everyone know who's watching.
I know, yeah.
I had it booked, so it's been cancelled, obviously. So I just thought I'd let you know. Do you think I'm not a Foo Fighters fan? Anyway, my track 3. Do a bit of AOR now. So we're going to mellow things out a bit. Jam like this one. It's from a guy called Toby Hitchcock. He's from a band called Pride of Lions. If you ever they're real proper AOR music.
I've got one there, but I know his name. Yeah.
I mean, I didn't like Pride of Lions that much, but I like this album. I thought it was really good. It's his like first solo album. He's got a proper like distinct AOR voice. You know, it's quite strong. This was the best album he's done as well. I probably won't be choosing anything off the other 2 albums that he's done, although they were all right. But this was a really good one. He's got just a strong voice. This one's called How to Stop. It's just really in that Survivor, that sort of, you know, that's what we're talking, Survivor influence, I would say. I mean, there was talk of him, I think, once being the singer for Survivor. It might be people wanting him to be the singer. I'm not sure, fans, but he definitely would. Yeah. He's got that sort of vocal, would suit it down to the ground. But yeah, it's a great album. Mercury's Down. It's a quality album. It's called How to Stop, this song from Toby Hitchcock. There you go.
Cool. All right.
And not the first AOR song on my list, by the way. It's quite a mellow year, this one, by the way. I thought I'd let you know.
All right.
We all got to take a break every now and then.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
Is he American, do you know, or is he English?
I think he's American. I think he's American. I'm not 100% sure. He could even fuck it. I'm not 100%. I mean, I didn't follow Pride of Lions really. I heard a few songs and was okay. But this one sort of ramped up. Ramped up the 80s feel more than AOR sometimes. Sort of, you don't know where it stands, AOR sometimes, do you? It's a bit strange when it's pure AOR. You can't replace it because it didn't sort of have those things in the 80s really. It sort of started a bit later, you know, but very cool indeed. I nearly went to Jam then, but I meant to go to Dom for track 4.
That's right. Come back to me.
Yeah.
Okay. We've got your old pal, Tobias Sammet.
Yeah.
We got Ed Guy on here. Ed Guy's song is called Pandora's Box, and the album is called Age of the Joker. God, this song is so good. The song just kills me. It's one of those mid-pace kind of epic-y ones. You know, if you don't know it, man, this is for you, Lee. This is their 9th album, believe it or not. And this went to number 3 in the German album charts as well. So very popular band.
Definitely
And most
the Avantasia thing is definitely taken over for him now. And I mean, Egg Guy's gone, isn't it, completely?
I don't know if that, I mean, I don't think they're that they've announced anything, but yeah, I think Avantasia is really, but as you say, Avantasia do like 2 albums like back to back or something, and then they don't do anything for so who knows what he's got up his sleeve. But yeah, this song Pandora's Box is just, I can't recommend it enough. Just a fantastic, as you say, medium paced, epic-y kind of great song, great chorus. Yeah, fantastic. So Ed Guy from Age of the Joker.
Very cool, mate. Thank you very much for that. I haven't actually heard that one. I've only heard a couple of Ed Guy albums.
Yeah,
that's not
well,
one
the thing
of them,
with Ed Guy is that they can get very power metal-y. They can get very kind of double bassy and stuff, but they have those songs that me and you kind of love, where they kind of slow it down. I think most of these power metal bands nowadays, they do have their super fast, ones, but then they do kind of have slower riff stuff as well. So
Avantasia are the same, aren't they? They do the power metal stuff as well, and then they go and slow it down. I always prefer the ones they slow down on.
Me too.
The Halloween album last year, I preferred the slower ones then. So it's just something I like. It's one of those things.
Yeah, Halloween's another example of that. Yeah,
exactly.
Okay.
Cheers, mate. What you got then, Jam?
Okay. Got the to date last album by Jane's Addiction. Although I did actually read this morning they're going to be doing some new songs, hopefully, so maybe we'll get something maybe next year or something. But this was their last album to date, The Great Escape Artist. I don't think it's quite as good as the album that came out before, Strays, but there's some good stuff on it. This song is The Irresistible Force. It's just quite a mellow track. It starts out, it just sounds like, sometimes they do songs that just sound like a soundscape or sort of a just sort of a really cool vibe to it, if you know what I mean. They're not like structured, they're not a big riff band, but this song's quite cool, and it's got a really good chorus, very catchy. But yeah, it's just got this sort of, I don't know, vibe to it, cool vibe to it, I guess. It's just quite a cool song, and it's probably the best song on the album, I think. Irresistible Force. Splash a Little Water on it is on this album as well, which is another good song. But yeah, it's a good album. Definitely worth checking out if you're a Jane's Addiction fan, but it's not as good as some of the earlier stuff or Strays. So there we go.
Cool.
Did you say they have a song called Splash a Little Water on it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Are they talking about cooking or?
I don't know.
Plants, maybe?
Maybe.
I mean, I do brush a little bit of milk sometimes on a pie. If I'm like cooking a pie, I give it a bit of a brown top sometimes, put a little bit of milk on. But I'm not sure about water. I'm not sure about water.
Mm.
Interesting stuff. If you want to tune in next week for any cookery tips, just
splash a little water on it. That's my
fuck it. Yeah. Anyway, good one, mate. Thank you very much for that. So another bit of AOR for you now. So the British band Shy. Now they obviously the Tony Mills was the vocalist for Shy, the main vocalist for years and years from the beginning, and then he took a bit of a break on this one, and a guy called Lee Small came in. And
really?
Yeah, and Tony Mills was still about it because he's passed away sadly now, about 2 or 3 years ago. But this vocalist came in, Lee Small, and done a great job on this album. Another British guy, and he's in another band, but the name of the band escapes me right now. But they ramped up the heaviness actually on this because they are real AOR band, Shy. But they brought the guitars went up on this, and they, but on this song it's actually a ballad. I wanted to fit. There's so many songs I could have just fitted on, and it just didn't work out where I could have got. I wanted to go an earlier song, but those, how it works, an all killer. But heavier sound on the album altogether, and really popular album. I mean, I remember at the time when this came out, across those sites that I follow, with heavy rock and melodic rock, this came at the top of a lot of them. It was a real outstanding album. And sometimes does that, doesn't it? You bring a different vocalist in or something, or a different member of the band, it just changes and the sound changed. And a great album, self-titled album, actually. It's like their I don't know how many albums in it was. It was obviously over 10 by this point, I think. But they'd self-titled, I suppose, because of the new singer, and it's just like a new start. I don't know. But an absolutely banger of an album. If anyone hasn't heard this Shy one, called Shy.
I haven't, so I'm going to check it out.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Honestly, you'll love it. From the outset, you'll be blown away. It's really good. So check it out. But that song's called Breathe. It is the ballad of the album, and it's fucking great. There you go.
Cool.
Track 5, guys.
I had no idea that Sky ever had somebody else singing.
Yeah, just the one album. I don't know what they did a bit later. I don't. Yeah, just the one album. He didn't. He came and went, even though it was that popular, and it really had some great reviews. He went again. So a bit of a strange one.
Huh. Okay.
All right.
Shy, self-titled album from Shy.
Yeah.
All right. For me, I've got a band here that really made a big explosion as far as like the music mags and stuff are concerned. They're called In Solitude. They had 3 albums. They're from Sweden, but they're not melodic rock, or they're not melodic, glammy, whatever. It's hard to describe them. I don't know. I mean, I was reading some stuff. They sound very distinctive to me. I was reading some stuff before we came on that were comparing them to Merciful Fate, which I can kind of understand. The singer, like if King Diamond didn't do his like kind of falsetto stuff and he sang in his mid-range, I guess the singer would kind of sound like that. I saw a lot of comparisons to Danzig as well. So I guess dark gothic rock or something. I don't know. I mean, it's definitely metal. It's definitely metal. It does sound very kind of new wave of British heavy metal as well. Like it has that kind of basic, production and stuff. It does sound like it's of that time, but the songs are just fantastic. The songs are pretty long. I don't think they have anything that really goes under 5 minutes, most of them. But just, it's really hard for me to describe. You just got to hear them. Their 3rd album after this was their last one before they broke up. And that one was just like #1 on every freaking list. So that might be on a future list as well. But this is their 2nd album. It's called The World, the Flesh, and the Devil. That's the name of the album. The name of the song is called Demons. It's their 2nd album, but it's their first for Metal Blade. So this kind of put them in more of a forefront. But yeah, just really good atmospheric metal. I think Jam especially might want to check these out if you haven't heard them. They're quite good, and I think you might dig them. Yeah, they've got that kind of dark, almost kind of little bit of 69 Eyes-ish, maybe.
Oh yeah, that's all stuff I like. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. So there you go. In Solitude's the band.
In Solitude, right.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because when I'm the same. If someone says a band from Sweden, I just think it's that melodic.
Yeah.
AOR melodic hard rock.
I even saw on the Wikipedia, one of the magazines said it was one of the best black metal albums of all time, but it doesn't sound black metal to me at all. So I don't know. I guess just because their subject matter is a bit darker and stuff, maybe they put them in that category. I don't know. No, I wouldn't say it's black. No. But anyway, there you go.
Thanks, mate. Cheers for that. What you got then, Joe?
Okay, I'm going to band that's featured quite frequently, and that's Incubus with their If Not Now, When album. This song is called Isidore. I think it's supposed to be someone's name, I presume. It's not singing about a door.
Or isn't it a door? I was going to say,
yeah.
Is it a door?
Yeah, it's a door question mark. Yeah.
It's a door? No, it's not. It's Isadore, but I don't know. Not a name I've heard, but that's what it sounds like he's singing about. But
it is it's an old-timey lady's name, yeah.
Oh, right, okay, yeah, I've not heard it. I guess that it was. If you listen to the lyrics, that's what it sounds like. He's singing about a woman. Anyway, it's not a ballad, but it's probably a softer Incubus type one. Not that they do a lot of different stuff, Incubus, but no, it's got a great chorus, got a good sort of mid-tempo song, and great chorus and brilliant singing from Brandon Boyd. So I like a lot of Incubus. Lucky enough to we've got tickets to see the Albert Hall, actually, believe it or not.
Oh, wow.
In whenever it is, August, September time, I think. Because
Really?
they've been playing there last. They organised a gig. My brother was going to go with his girlfriend, and they cancelled it due to lockdown, of course, and refunded it, completely refunded it. And now they've done it again, but she can't make it, so I'm going with my brother. So we're going to go to Albert Hall. So that should be good.
I saw that. Well, we spoke about it anyway. One of the best concert I've ever been to was at the Royal Albert Hall. That was
I've never been. So
Bridge. Yeah, All Bridge. They done it with an orchestra. That was fucking brilliant. But yeah,
excellent.
Yeah, very good. Cool, mate. Well done.
Cool.
Okay. Well, my track 5. You've heard of these, Dom? You might have mentioned them in a past list. I'm not sure. Voodoo Circle.
Not on a list, but yes, I know who they are. Yeah, I got to take 2 of their records.
Yep.
Yeah.
So German, they don't really sound German, but German heavy rock band. This song's called Broken Heart Syndrome. It's the title track from the album, Broken Heart Syndrome, obviously. It's the second album. I think this is my favorite album from them as well. I think they was getting those influences that they would later maybe do a little bit too much for me. The Whitesnake thing I'm talking about. I mean, literally on this album, you heard influences from Whitesnake, I would say. But then later on, it was literally like you was listening to Whitesnake just redo some songs for me. It was a bit too much. But at this stage, it was really cool. So Alex Bruroit, I think that's how you pronounce him, is the guitarist. He's an amazing guitarist. You probably put him up there with the likes of John Sykes and people like that in his heyday. Could play anything. This is a medium-paced rocking song. They're just, this album is just really, it sounds original, but having those influences on. Does that make any sense?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Not too much. You hear some bands now that just try and emulate a sound completely by even getting a singer that sounds exactly. Maiden would be a good example of this. I'm not having a dig, but lately there's been some bands that I don't mind bands that have the Maiden sound, but then get a singer that doesn't really sound like Maiden. That's fine.
Yeah, right.
They try to get people that sound exactly like Bruce Dickinson, and you're thinking, that's just ridiculous. So anyway, Voodoo Circle, Broken Heart Syndrome, great song, great album. There you go.
Cool.
Okay, track 6.
Yeah, I've got a couple of the later ones, so I don't really have anything to compare it to. I always thought they were good, but I kind of get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, number 6 for me. Well, we're going back to the well here. UDO.
Oh.
Yeah, 13th album, lucky number 13. This is called Rev Raptor, and the name of the song I picked is Rock and Roll Soldiers.
Yeah.
We got rock and roll.
Yeah, you know it, man.
Oh yeah.
When Udo sings Rock and Roll Soldiers, man, could not get any better. I don't really have to explain much about UDO and Udo Dirkschneider. You know him, you love him. He hasn't really switched anything up too much. This is another really solid album. And there you go, UDO, Rock and Roll Soldiers.
It's a bit weird with UDO, isn't it? Or Udo, with his solo albums. I think I said this before. People sort of thought that he went through a poor period of music, but if you actually go back and listen, there's not much that's different, is there?
No, I don't. Yeah, I don't think he really missed a step. I mean, I do think that Steel Factory and stuff are kind of a real highlight. But he's another one where he really changes up the players a lot. So even though he has his signature sound, you do get different songwriters coming in and all that kind of stuff. So it's not the same album every time.
No. Very cool. Thanks, mate. Great to get Udio in. What you got then?
Yeah.
What you got then, Jan?
Okay, I'm going to one of my favourite bands. This is Opath, but this is where they sent a few of the fans crazy. This is the album Heritage. And this is where they suddenly became a folk rock, well, not folk rock, but heavy prog folk jazz type band. And they nothing like Blackwater Park or Still Life or any of their previous albums whatsoever. A lot of people didn't like it. They've gone slightly heavier now, but nothing like they used to be. But I really like this sort of stuff. This is actually one of the first albums I listened to. I had a Black Water Park and stuff, but I actually was intrigued and I listened to it. And Heritage, I really like Heritage. I think it's really good. It's certainly different. But this song I picked is Hack's Process, but I've looked it up. Apparently, it means a witch trial in Swedish, Norwegian, Swedish, aren't they? I think. But this song is like two songs in one. Like, it's obviously prog, isn't it? So it's very open. It starts off with a really eerie sort of atmospheric song, and it's almost so slow. It's just like it's got one sort of acoustic strum, and he almost talks over it, talks the lyrics, and then that's going on for about 2.5 minutes. And then it suddenly sort of morphs into a more of an acoustic-y song, something that would have probably fit in well in Damnation, something like that, which is their acoustic type album. But great album if you haven't checked it out. Certainly if you don't like the heavy stuff of Opath, it's definitely worth starting there. And to say they haven't really they've gone a little bit heavier on the 2 albums they released afterwards, but this is where it all started to be the Opath that we know now.
It's a bit weird.
This is where I come in. Yeah,
that's where you like it, is it?
Yeah. This is the first one that I picked up, and I have everyone since this one now. But I just it was too dichotomous for me before. It was like they would have the mellow parts and then they would have the super heavy stuff, and I just couldn't get my head around it. And I do love modern prog, so I really like where they're going now. So this is the first one I ever picked up.
Cheers then, mate. Well, I'm going to probably the biggest band on my list, surely. Journey. So another bit of AOR, if you like. Now this is the album that got everyone upset as well. This was the last album they actually released. So fucking hell, that's a long time, isn't it?
Oh, right. Jeez.
Yeah, so
11 years.
And obviously this is the second album with Arnel Pineda. So he's been in the band quite a while now. Only 2 albums released though. This got a lot of stick because it was a little bit proggy as well in places. But it was a real, compared to the rest of their catalogue, probably the heaviest album they've ever done. You could call it Neil Sean's album, really. It's a real guitar-based album. Loads of like really cool solos and just not what Journey fans wanted. And it did fuck all sale-wise. It did absolutely nothing. I mean, when they came back with Revelation, which was the one before this, sold fucking loads, and then this one literally sold fuck all. And I love it. I think it's a great album. It's got those Journey moments where it sounds like Journey, but then it has got some heavier moments and stuff. It sounds like a band wanting to do what they want to do. That's what it sounded like. Do you know what I mean? We want to make an album we want to make, and the fans just didn't like it. But I think it's a great album. This is a great song called Resonate. Probably my favorite song on the album as well. It's a 14th album, second with Pineda, but the 14th album. Just brilliant. Love the album. Can't get enough.
What's it called again? Sorry?
The album's called Eclipse, and the song's called Resonate. Yeah. But yeah.
Sounds like I might want to check this out. I haven't really kept up with them after Raised on Radio, I think maybe was the last one I probably heard from front to back. Oh no, the one with Steve Augeri. I like that one.
Generations.
Arrival, I think it's called.
Arrival. Then they brought Generations out after.
Yeah,
like Arrival.
That was pretty good. Arrival was pretty good. Yeah, but
I mean, this has got. It's not got it's not as far removed as probably I'm sounding as from Journey, but it's definitely heavier. Which Journey fans just want the ballads, don't they? And the soppy ballads. That's what they want. They didn't get it.
I get the feeling that Neil Sean is just aching to just fucking stretch out and shred.
That is exactly what he did on this album, and it just didn't catch on.
Cool.
Perhaps I'm sure they've made enough money not to worry about what they sold on this album. So I've got a feeling that there's a lot of build up for the new material. There's only been one song released like last year, but I've got a feeling that they're going to sell well on this next one. I think people are like chomping on the bit a little bit for the next one. So there you go. Journey and Resonate. Track 7, guys.
All right. Track 7. Well, track 7, we all love them. I'm surprised it hasn't come up yet. I'm surprised I'm the first one to get in here. Anthrax with the album Worship Music. This song In the End is just
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, great
so
song.
Yeah, it's good song.
freaking good. Now, I've said on the past years, how much I love John Bush, his time in Anthrax, and I didn't really care for Anthrax until he came on board with Sound of White Noise. So when Belladonna came back, I was not thrilled. But when this album came out, I was just like, oh my God, this is so good. Despite Joey Belladonna. He just, I don't know, he never really fit into Anthrax, I thought, back in the day. He was more of a singer kind of thing, and they were more of a thrash band, and I don't know, it was kind of but he makes total sense on this album. And the songs that they're writing now, he fits in perfectly. This was a great album.
Yeah.
And In the End is probably my favorite track off it. Very medium paced, almost slow, definitely not a ballad because it's riffy, but it's just a fantastic chorus. Breaks my heart. So good. So yeah, Anthrax, Triumphant Return, their 10th album overall.
Very cool. Cheers,
Cool.
mate. Right, what you got in, Jam?
Okay, I've got some pirate metal, and it's our friends at Ailstorm are back with their Back Through Time album, and this is the song Rum, which, as you can probably guess,
No, we have a song called Rum.
Oh yeah, it's guess what? It's like a sea shanty about rum, believe it or not.
Fucking brilliant.
But no, it's brilliant. No, I mean, Ailstorm, definitely worth checking out. I know I wouldn't call them, they're not a comedy band. They do some of the stuff is brilliant, really good. It's sing-alongable. Go on, it's sing-alongable. It's great for live environment, but it's serious music. They're not, some of it's taking the piss, but it is still good music to listen to. It's not just bloody chucked together on a Bon Tempe or something. It is some good stuff. So the song's Rum. Back Through Time's got some good songs on it. Shipwrecked, Sunken Norwegian, lots of good songs like that on it. So check Ailstorm out. So maybe some American people watching this who haven't heard Ailstorm because they probably don't come across over there. Worth checking them out.
Very cool. Cheers, mate. Thanks for that. Okay, so I'm going a bit of southern rock now. Blackstone Cherry, and a song called Like I Roll from Between the Devil and the Deep Blue Sea. This is probably this, along with the last album, Folklore and Superstition, are probably my two favourite Blackstone Cherry albums. This may be their most commercial album, I think. This had a real sort of, I don't know, quite a few ballads on it, or close to ballad songs. Probably my favourite album, that's probably why. Very Lynyrd Skynyrd-esque, this actual song. I mean, even lyrically. I mean, they play with their influences on their sleeve on the song. It's really catchy southern rock. I fucking love this song. Like I Roll, it's brilliant. Not really into Blackstone Cherry as much now. It's sort of I think the novelty's almost worn off a little bit on me, the southern feel, and they seem to have lost that a bit for me now. But it's one of those things, isn't it? But back then, absolutely love this. Great song. Like I Roll from Blackstone Cherry.
Yeah, good song.
Okay, track 8. What we got then, guys?
Track 8, I've got The Unexpected Return of Black and Blue. They had an album out called Hell Yeah, their 5th album overall, but it's been years since In Heat. I think In Heat was...
Fucking hell, was that the last one?
8, yeah.
Oh my God, In Heat, that must have been late 80s. Surely.
Yeah, 88, I think, something like that. Yeah, so it's been a long time. That's why I said the most unexpected return. Because, of course, Tommy went on to work with Kiss and then became Ace Frehley. And then Jamie St. James, he was singing with Warrant for a while and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, he finally got the band back together. It is 4/5 of the original lineup. Obviously, Tommy's not on it because he was busy. Singing Shot Me or whatever. But yeah, this was a really good album, and I have to thank Frontiers Records because they made it all happen. So they put up the money for them to actually get a reunion together. And the song I picked is called So Long, very catchy, kind of a summery kind of song, really terrific. So Yeah, I would recommend this to anybody that liked them back in the day. They kind of picked up where they left off. I would say maybe not quite as heavy, maybe more hard rock than metal, but yeah, some great songs on here. So yeah, Black and Blue back, and then they haven't done anything since. I think.
Yeah. I mean, Nasty Nasty, which was the one before In Heat, was my favorite one from them. I fucking played that to death when I was a kid. That album, superb.
Yeah,
Almost
yeah.
AC/DC sort of riffs going across it sometimes, and just fucking brilliant. Absolutely superb.
They were on a good roll. They really were.
They were. Okay, what you got in, Jan?
Okay, I've got a band that divides opinion. As I said before, I like them and don't really know why everybody hates them, but that's Five Finger Death Punch, apart from the name's a bit silly, I guess. This is from their third or fourth album, American Capitalist. This is one of two ballads on my list, and it's a song called Remember Everything. Most of Five Finger Death Punch's ballads are pretty much the same, really. I think that's maybe why people don't like them, because a lot of the songs are quite samey. But no, it's a good song. It was a single, very catchy. You guys would like it. There's nothing to dislike about it. There's no shouting in it or anything like that. I think even Moody is a good singer. When he sings, I think he's quite a good singer. He's obviously had his problems, but yeah, no, I like it. I don't like everything on this album. I wouldn't say it's one of their best ones, but this song is really good. Remember Everything, Five Finger Death Punch.
That's the thing you say.
I didn't even know
about,
they had ballads.
Yeah, well, no.
Yeah.
There you go. I think they are, and they're like they're quite patriotic, aren't they? They do a few songs that are.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
Military and all that.
That sort of thing can upset people. I don't know why, but that sort of thing can upset people. And also, it's weird you said about like them. Some of their songs sounding the same. That can either make fans latch onto them even more, or it can fucking do the opposite, can't it? It's just,
I think people say they're like metal by numbers, aren't they? That sort of thing. They're just, not inspirational. They're just sort of doing something a bit commercial. They're a bit commercial. First album was quite heavy. You didn't like that one. I give that was The Bleeding, which is really heavy, but they're not really like that anymore. I think that's maybe why they're a bit unpopular, because they're sort of sold out, if you like, a bit. But I like them still. They're good.
Yeah. No, cool. Cheers, mate. Okay, well, I'm going to Striper. So my second Christian one on this list. Now, this is a bit of a weird one.
Album?
Yes. So yeah, a bit of a weird one. So I've got a cover. Yeah. So they bought the covering out, which was, I think this was the one that came just before they did their remake of their older songs. They sort of did this, and then they remade some of their old ones just to get them into the groove of what they sound like now. And apparently Michael Sweet was saying that this sort of made them go back to what they sounded like, and that's why you're getting the music that you get now. So but it's cool on the covering, because they basically said this is what influenced us as a band. So they didn't play a load of fucking like Christian songs, they played metal songs, because that's what influenced them. So
I can imagine some of the songs they didn't play.
Yeah. So this one was Over the Mountain, Aussie.
Cool. Yeah.
So I mean, I'm not a particular Aussie fan. I do like him, and I like some of the stuff he's done with Sabbath and on his solo stuff, but I'm not a huge fan. But I really like what they did with this song, and it's probably one of my favorite Aussie songs anyway, Over the Mountain. I think it's a great song.
Yeah, good song.
This was the eighth studio album, and obviously it's, like I said, it's a cover album. And I mean, shut up, Spamps here, as you might have heard. So on this album, they covered Maiden, Scorpions, who else? Sabbath and Ozzy, Priest. So real, 80s. That's who they were influenced by. That's who they covered on this album. It's a great album, actually. Done a great cover of Heaven and Hell as well on there. I wanted to choose the original track that they did on this album, but it was track fucking 13.
Yeah.
It's like, I really wanted. It was actually called God. Sorry about that, Dom. I know you're a Satanist, but
I just think Satan is funnier. That's the only reason why. I just think he probably has a better sense of humor.
Yeah, it's probably one of their best songs, actually, God, they've ever done. And it was like, that's the song, that's the sort of band you get now. It's really weird. I think Mark was telling me, because Mark Clower's a big Striper fan, they brought out, it was an instrumental. They brought out God as an instrumental originally. And then they added lyrics to it for this album, I think. And it's absolutely superb. I can't really talk about that because it's track 13, but that's my honorable mention done.
Well, you got it in there, didn't you?
I did. Exactly. Okay. Track 9. Track 9, guys. What we got?
Track 9. All right. Making a return to my list after maybe I missed a couple of records just because they were on there a few times. Hammerfall. This is one of the strongest albums in their catalog, I think. Certainly one of my favorites, in my top 3 Hammerfall albums. The album's called Infected, and the name of the song is Immortalized. The thing I like about this is that, you know, obviously Hammerfall have their thing. And, you know, I like Hammerfall, don't get me wrong, but of course, you know, they can get a bit samey, you know. Yeah. Even if they're your favorite band, you have to admit, they have their niche, right?
And they sing about hammers quite a lot.
Yeah, they sing about hammers falling, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they do.
This one was a bit darker. The riffs were a bit more minor chordy. Just, you know, they just had a bit of an atmosphere to it, and the lyrics are a bit different as well. They're not singing about, you know, flying on the wings of a rainbow or whatever normally they sing about. It's called Infected, so there's like zombies and things like that in it. So it had a bit of a different, it had a bit of an edge, I guess. Yeah. Kind of what I'm trying to say. It didn't really last. They just went back to what they do. I don't know if this wasn't well received by the fans or what, but it really stood out for me when it came out. It was my favorite one since maybe their 4th album or something. So
you know what it was. You know what it was. Then you know what it was, didn't you? Because the fans of Hammerfall didn't like the fact that they was talking about something that didn't exist. You know, like Odin does and things like that. So they was a bit upset about the zombie thing, that it wasn't realistic. That's probably what it was.
Yeah. We're not talking about, you know, hammers.
Exactly.
Falling.
Thor.
Anyway,
and all that.
I don't want to take the piss out of them too much because I do like them quite a bit.
So do I.
So, you know, I do like the band, but yeah, I mean, Infected is strong. So I would suggest picking this one up, as I said, probably in my top 3 Hammerfall albums. So there you go.
Cool.
Come on, Vamp. Come and see the boys.
Vamp likes it too.
Coming in. Come and see Dom and Jam. Come on. Coming in. Here he comes. Oh,
there he is.
Oh, he had to get on there, didn't he? There you go.
Yeah.
People have been saying, "Where's the cat?" There he is.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay.
Right.
Dom, do you want him? Honestly, I think you need him in your life. No. All right. What you got then, Jam?
Okay, we're going to a bit of thrash metal.
Ooh, nice.
We're going to Megadeth on their album 13, which is, believe it or not, their 13th album, I believe.
At least they did it right, I suppose.
Yeah, exactly. This album's a little bit heavier than the previous one, which I've forgotten. Is it United Abominations? Can't remember. But anyway, a bit heavier than that. Song's called Black Swan. It's a good album. It's a solid album for Megadeth. It's probably not as good as Endgame that comes out a few years later, but it's pretty solid. This song isn't actually, although this album's, as I just said, is a bit heavier. This song is not really that thrashy. It's got a really cool riff in it, typical Dave Mustaine riff to start open the song, and it's more like a heavy, really heavy metal rock song sort of thing. Not really thrashy riffs in it, but the song is Black Swan. It's and it's a good one. Yeah, it's a good album and definitely worth checking out if you've not heard it.
Cool. Thanks, mate. Thank you very much. Dom's going to like this one. So, Saxon, come on.
Right on.
Yeah.
So, going to go to Saxon. They got an album out called Call to Arms. They were sort of in a bit of a groove here, weren't they, with these albums? This song's called No Rest for the Wicked. 19th studio album, by the way.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's real heavy. It's galloping. Listening to it the other day and giving myself a bit of a reminder, just it made it sort of, because I really like the album they brought out this year, Carpe Diem. I think it's a really cool album.
Yeah.
But I mean, this song could have just fits right in. It really does, and that's a good thing.
Yeah.
That's not a bad thing.
Absolutely.
That's a good thing. It's a really cool, heavy song, typical Saxon. Just love it. Heavy and galloping. What else do you want? That's it. So no rest for the wicked. No real surprises. Just a really cool Saxon song. There you go.
19 albums and they're still bringing a good tune, man.
Oh,
Respect.
Totally, mate. Totally. Okay. Track 10, guys. What we got?
Track 10, I've got Sebastian Bach with his album called Kicking and Screaming. It's his second album of all original material. I think he had one interim where maybe he had like live tracks or Skid Row songs or something. Anyway, this is his second like proper album. This song's called Dream Forever, which again is one of those songs, Lee, that you love, a very kind of heavy ballad, if you will, kind of epic-y heavy ballad with a really great chorus. Really strong song. This is a good album. It really is. It kind of surprised me. I wasn't quite expecting it, but it does have a secret ingredient. It was Frontiers Records. So I think that that really helps. I think they kind of have quality control. Like if he was just coming up with some shit, I think they would just say, I'm not so sure about that. So this one is melodic, heavy, good songwriting. Yeah, quite good. So Sebastian Bach, Kicking and Screaming is the album.
I'm sort of glad you brought that up, actually, Sebastian Bach, because I don't know if there was a video. Obviously, I don't know if this came up because I was watching some stuff with Skid Row's new singer, Eric Gromwell. I don't know if you've checked any of the stuff out. And watching him do some old Skid Row ones live, like just a handheld fucking, just people with their phones. Sounds really cool, like almost singing them note for note, which is even Sebastian Bach couldn't do that a lot back in the day. He struggled sometimes live because fucking hell, some of those notes that he hit in the studio were just mental. So then a video came up of Sebastian Bach doing the other day in concert. And I thought, oh, fucking hell. And it was Monkey Business, which that is a fucking brilliant song. Probably one of my favorite Skid Row songs. And I thought, I've got to listen to see if he can do it. Obviously he's older now. He's not going to be able to do it. But I thought, let's see if he gives it a good go. And the quiet bit at the beginning, then it goes into the song, doesn't it? And then there's a fucking cool scream.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, a woman stepped in with a microphone and done the scream for him.
No.
Now, I don't know if this is a regular. I don't know if this woman is on tour with them and doing the high bits. I don't know, and sharing the vocals, or if someone was just guesting. But if he is getting a woman to come and do it now to hit those screaming notes, that ain't good, is it?
No.
Just don't do it. Just don't do the scream. Just fucking leave it out. Just don't bother. But I'd have to check it out because there weren't no details. There weren't no details under the video about featuring this person live. It just said Sebastian Bach, Monkey Business live. That made me think. It made me think: is that actually his new touring partner?
I don't know. Who knows?
Anyway, a bit sad if it is. Not that I've got anything against women, by the way.
Man.
Not that I've got anything against women. Jam's the only one on here that doesn't like women singers. So, but to bring a woman on tour with you to sing for you ain't good, is it? If that's what's happening.
But anyway, Kicking and Screaming, gentlemen, it's a very good album. And it's better than Subhuman Race, I'll tell you that much.
Oh yeah, exactly. The album without any choruses, that isn't it? Subhuman Race is like, what where is the chorus? Anyway, sorry about that. Anyway, Jam, what you got, man?
Okay, sticking with thrash metal and going to an album that already been mentioned, and that's Worship Music from Anthrax. Dom's mentioned it already. This song, I'm surprised I didn't pick this. It's Anthrax doing a song called Judas Priest, which is a good title. This is, this is as Dom said, this is a classic lineup without Dan Spitz, but with Rob Caggiano, isn't it, on guitar still? He was not there anymore. He's in Volbeat now. But yeah, long song, quite chugging this one, chugging metal song, but very melodic. It's quite a few time changes in this. It's probably a sort of an epic-y song. It's only 6 minutes, I think, but it's more of a bit of a departure for Anthrax, I'd say. But it's a good song, obviously. And it's just a bit different, and as Dom said, a really good album overall. I think I prefer this to the one they did afterwards, For All Kings, I think it's called, isn't it? Yeah, I think I prefer this one. Although For All Kings is quite good, and I might have something off it when we come to it. But there we go, better Anthrax.
I've got a match, mate.
Oh, cool.
Well, as soon as I saw Judas Priest, I thought I've got to choose that, my favourite metal band. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, no, I do love I do love this song. It's actually, I wrote down that it's 6.5 minutes long. It's long. Yeah, it's a long song. They're not really thrash anymore, are they? They're like a groove metal sort of band. They've got a real cool groove to them now. I think it's sort of like a really good sound. I prefer the actual Joey Belladonna Anthrax anyway. So this pleased me when he came back. So really looking forward to a new album actually, because I think they've only brought out For All Kings, haven't they now, and they haven't brought out another one yet.
Not yet, no.
Which I don't understand. I thought they would have, gone for it, but still, it's still good, really good. Love it. Cool song. There you go. We got our first match.
Cool.
Track 11. What we got?
All right, track 11. I've got a band who's been around forever and ever, but sort of like Europe, I didn't really like them in the beginning when they had lots of hits and stuff. Just never really did it for me. But now I really like them quite a bit the last 10, 15 years. This is Night Ranger. This is from their album Somewhere in California, and the song's called Say It With Love. And it's just fantastic melodic hard rock. It's just such a great album, really great album. Again, I have to mention the F name is Frontiers again.
Yeah.
But where would we be without Frontiers Records? I mean, seriously. They're really bringing back all these bands, and they're always, pretty quality albums. This was really just Night Ranger, just with a stick up their ass, just like really full production and just great songs. This I didn't realize this, but Joel Hoekstra,
yes,
the guitar player who's with Whitesnake now, he's actually the second guitar player on this with Brad Gillis. I didn't know he was in Night Ranger, but he was at least for this album, and I think he did some co-writing on it as well. And it's their 10th album altogether, but really start of a rebirth for them, this one. I'm
a bit with you on Night Ranger as well. I didn't hear loads of their music when I was younger, but what I did hear was those hits, and I thought, they were usually like soundtrack songs. I know they were chose for a couple of soundtracks.
Yeah,
and they were just like
and all that stuff.
Very almost pop band for me back then. But only with the songs I heard, by the way. So no Night Ranger songs to get I don't want Night Ranger fans, if there's any, getting yump. It's just the ones I heard put me off. But
if there's any.
If there is. But I know they're still making music, but their last album was quite good. But I'm with you on that though, Dom.
I think there's been 3 more since this one. They've all been quality. So cool. Night Ranger, back with a vengeance.
Thanks, mate. Cool. What you got, man? Track 11.
Okay, I've got a British band, and they only did one album. They are called Rise to Remain, and the singer is Austin Dickinson, as in Bruce Dickinson's son. So,
oh really?
Yeah, we this was obviously back in 2011. We saw them at Download when obviously slightly intrigued, being Bruce Dickinson's son, and we went to watch them, and we liked them. I mean, they're pretty metalcore, but we really liked them. So we saw them. I got the album afterwards. The album was okay, pretty good, but the song I picked obviously is my favourite song. But they don't exist after a while. They stayed around for a while, but then they sort of disbanded. But I think 3 or 4 of them have formed a new band. They're called As Lions, but I've not heard anything by them. But obviously, Austin is still singing, is the singer. So anyway, this song is the only album they did was called City of Vultures, and the song is called Rhodes. and it's like a power ballad. This isn't metalcore at all. It's just a power ballad. He's got a very good voice, actually. He doesn't sound like Bruce, not that he should do for any reason, but he's got a very good voice as well in his own right. And yeah, it's just a really good ballad, power ballad, if you want to listen to it. It's definitely worth checking out. But I say, they are no more. So,
thank you very much. Just going to try and do this with Vamp. He's wants to cuddle at the moment. Sorry about that.
Yeah, you're having a very lovey-dovey moment there.
I am. He does love me, but he's annoying. Okay, my track 11, back to a bit of AOR. This is a band called Work of Art. They're a Swedish band, believe it or not. This song is called Cast Away. It's from their album Work in Progress, which was their second album. Great band. They're not together anymore, actually, but the members of them are in other bands now. So the actual band itself is not together. Robert Saul is part of this band. He's in the band Wet now. So with Eric
Soto,
Eric Martinson and Jeff Scott Soto. And it's weird because these ain't normally, when I listen to AOR, I almost like it teetering on the melodic hard rock side, if that makes sense. So you could actually put them in the melodic hard rock sort of side, but these are pure AOR, but they're so good at it. They're probably one of my favorite pure AOR bands. It's sort of on this one, there's a slightly, don't know why I should like it, but a slightly bluesy feel to the guitar work, but that almost gives you that late 80s sort of sound. Does that make sense? That when a lot of the late 80s band was doing that sort of bluesy work.
Yeah.
But huge, the AOR, the chorus is pure melodic AOR. So it's a really good contrast between that bluesy verses and then the AOR chorus. But yeah, Work of Art. I think they made 4 albums and now they're gone, which is a bit sad.
I didn't realize they had broken up.
Yeah, I think it was only announced last year that they were going to get together. I think the singer's in another AOR band called Lionville. I think it's Lionville.
Oh, I've heard of them, Lionville.
Yeah, but they're not. I don't know what it is about them. They're pure AOR, but these, I don't think the songwriting's as good as it was here. So there you go. Work of Art, Cast Away from Work is Progress album. We're on track 12, guys. The last track of our monumentous list. What you got then?
Okay, I've got Warrant. They
Ah,
are back with another singer. So the last Warrant album had Jamie St. James from Black and Blue. Now they have their current singer, Robert Mason, who was in the second incarnation of Lynch Mob. So he was on the second self-titled Lynch Mob. And then he also sings with the End Machine, which is basically Dawkins without Don Dawkins. So that's Robert Mason as well. This is their 8th album called Rockaholic. This song is called Sunshine. Again, not really a ballad, but a slower paced number. But again, terrific chorus. And I hate to repeat myself, but thank you, Frontiers, for a great Warrant album with Robert Mason. As I said, he's still their singer. They've had one after this with him. But, again, I think these bands just make money touring, and not too many people, unfortunately, pay attention to their newer stuff. I mean, I guess when people go see Warrant, they just want to hear the hits and don't really want to hear new material and stuff, because they're kind of that age, I think, where people don't really buy a whole lot of new music. They're just going to these gigs for a bit of nostalgia and everything. But anyway, as long as they keep making records, I'll be listening. So there you go. Warrant, Sunshine off of Rockaholic.
cool. Great singer as well, that Robert Mason. Yeah, I've got to admit that. He's a really good singer, and he suits he suits all those bands you've spoken about, like the End Machine. I mean, End Machine sounds a bit like Lynch Mob as well, doesn't it? But definitely suits. He definitely suits all those bands.
And he's terrific on this album as well. So
yeah, great singer. Okay, we got Jam on your last track, mate.
Okay, last track. Going for another one of my favourite bands, more rock metal, really. That's Hollywood Undead, from their 3rd album. The second album was a bit strange. It had half new songs and then sort of half cover songs, which is a bit strange. But this was full-length album, quite a lot of songs, actually. I think it's about 15 songs on it, called American Tragedy. Some great songs on this album. If anybody gets into them, Being to Hell, Coming in Hot, Hear Me Now, Bullet, great songs on this album. This song's called Levitate. It's not really a heavy song. Some of them are more rocky than others. This is more of electronica, sort of rap, I guess. Very catchy, medium pace song, not ballady or anything like that, but no, just a great album. Hollywood Undead generally do good stuff. And I think that they actually got, this is probably, as I say, this is probably their least heavy album, if you like. There's still some rockers on there, but the new stuff they do now is probably a lot more metal and rock, and the first album was as well. So definitely worth checking out if you like that sort of music. You know, it's not Rage Against the Machine, that sort of thing. It's more, I don't know how it's more upbeat, I guess you call it, but still very good. There you go, Hollywood Undead.
Cool. Thanks, mate. Cheers for the list. Great list, both of you, by the way.
Yes.
So my track 12, more AOR. So I'm really mellowing out on this year, obviously. And it's from a singer called Fergie Fredrickson.
Oh, sure. Toto.
Yeah, to Toto. He was only with Toto for one album, which was my favorite album, which was Isolation, way back in 1980. Could have been 86, something around that sort of time. I think I told the story about him that he sounds a bit like Steve Perry, especially did back then. And that album, the Isolation album, is sort of looked back by Toto fans as their sort of wannabe Journey album, if you like. But I loved it. I thought it was brilliant. And they had the original singer for Toto singing alongside Fergie Fredrickson. And I thought it worked really well. It worked brilliantly. But so he brought this solo album out. The album's called Happiness is the Road, and the song's called The Savior. Pure AOR, Toto feels all the way through it. Sadly, Fergie Fredrickson died in 2014, so 3 years after this. I think he brought out another solo album before he died, but 62 years old. So that was a bit sad. But just an amazing singer, just, you know, absolutely brilliant. And even that later album, his singing is just, I don't know if he was ill during it because it wasn't long before he died, but just really strong AOR voice, just brilliant, absolutely brilliant. One of the great singers for me. And like I said, produced for me the best Toto album that he was on. And they didn't use him again because I think I told you, they thought he was struggling in the studio singing the songs, but
yeah,
I don't know.
Nah.
Who cares? But he's a brilliant singer. So Fergie Fredrickson is the Savior is the song off of Happiness is the Road. That's my last track, guys. So yeah, excellent year, absolutely brilliant year. So you got any honorables there, Jan?
I do not.
You don't? Okay.
No.
Yeah, I've got a few. A British band called Black Spiders. They were pretty good at the time. They did a few EPs. This is their first time. I think they might have done an album after this. Sons of the North. A great song on here called Kiss Tried to Kill Me, which has got them all running around with the Kiss.
Kill me.
Excellent. So yeah, I nearly had that as my track one, but I didn't quite make it. They split up a few years later, but they've actually reformed now. So I presume they're going to do some new material. So, and they've even got Wyatt from Planet Rock as their drummer. So that's quite interesting. So yeah, that's quite good. Blackstone Cherry, you mentioned. Machine Head did Unto the Locust, which was a fantastic return to form album, very heavy. Couldn't get anything off it though. There's some I Am Hell, Locust, Darkness Within, some great songs on there. Couldn't get anything in. Mastodon released The Hunter, which is pretty good. The Misfits, or the new Misfits, did Devil's Reign, which has got a great title track, and Land of the Dead was a really good track as well. I like that. And then Wolfsbane did their first new album, new songs for God knows how long, 20 years or whatever, and they did it for the Money EP, which was one re-recorded of an old song, but they did two or three new songs. But they did do an album after this, which we'll come on to when it gets to that year. So that's why I didn't bother putting them on this list. And that's it. Cool.
Just a couple of bands. Didn't really get the songs off it. I could have done if I was struggling, but White Snake had their album out, Forevermore, on Frontiers, believe it or not. Yeah, it was a good album, pretty solid. I don't know. I'm a big fan of White Snake pre-87 for me. I don't know what it is about, and I loved them back then. But it's still a solid album as well. And Chakra. that German band. I think they're German, or are they German?
Don't know. I just get them confused with House of Shakira.
Yeah. I'm not sure. They might not be German actually, but I know they're not British or American.
One of those other things.
But yeah, they are one of them bands that they do solid albums. They sound very similar each time. So I probably could have gone to that album if I was struggling, but I'm happy with my list. So there you go. So thanks, guys. That's another brilliant year. Let's hope everyone chimes in again with their lists.
Yes, please. Yeah,
because there's been some.
We got quite a few last time, didn't we?
We
got
did
quite a few lists, which is good. I always read them. I was going to put some comments, but I forgot. But I do always read the comments. I'm sure you all do as well. There's
some surprising ones that come out. That albums we collaborations and stuff like that. One-off albums, and you think, oh fucking hell, the people in that sounds good. And I always say, I'm gonna have a listen, but whether I fucking do or not is just a different matter.
Too much music.
Too much music. So brilliant, guys. Thank you for joining me again. Been absolutely brilliant as usual.
Cool. Yeah.
And we'll be back for 2012 really soon.
Yeah.
All right. Cheers, guys. See you later.
Cheers.
Hey guys.